My mother was born in the suburb of Kiev. She had a very rough transition. Her own mother became widowed at a very young age and was living with her in-laws, whose son was their only child. Her in-laws suggested that my grandmother go to America, where she had a lot of relatives, and possibly even remarry or make a life for herself and that send for the children. From what I understand, my great-grandparents were very close to the children. Their own son died, and this was all they had. My grandmother did go to America. I don't know when, but when her oldest daughter, my mother's sister, was 16, she sent for her, and she left. My mother was about 12, living in this little Shtetl. The pogroms started around then. A terrible situation was what she said, that she would refer to the Cossacks or the Bolsheviks, but they came through and burned down the houses and decapitated her grandfather. Her grandmother came screaming, saw that, and had a heart attack and died. So my mother was left all alone. The town was practically demolished. She went to the rabbi of the town. He gave her some money and some things and said, there's nothing here. He buried her grandfather, and her grandmother said that there's nothing for you here. Go to the next town, see the rabbi. He wrote a note. She went. I don't know how long she was with him, but it took her like 7 years, and she worked her way to Amsterdam. She was in prison because she had no papers. She had diphtheria. She told me she was running high fever. The women in the prison threw her in a horse trough with cold water in order to bring the fever down, and all her hair fell out. But she made it to Amsterdam, where she went to work for a Romanian couple. I don't know if they were Jewish or not, but they were Romanian, and they helped my mother greatly. They contacted her mother in the United States. Once they contacted her, her mother sent the passage fare with a agent. Yeah. The agent came to the house and he said, look, until he gets her papers and everything, it'll take a while. But he has a family who was leaving that week who had a daughter her age who died. She should go with that family and there'll be no problem. According to the way my mother tells me, she went to the gangplank with that family, said goodbye to the Romanian lady, went up on the ship, never saw that family again. She ate with, she said, a group of other women. Wasn't first class, but it wasn't steerage. They had a little dining room. She didn't remember the name of the people. When the ship docked, they went first to Halifax, went through customs. She had no problem there. And she said, as a matter of fact, that many of the people got off the ship at Halifax because they heard English speaking, and they thought it was the United States. It was Nova Scotia. Interestingly enough, my son wound up in Nova Scotia for 18 years. Anyway, she came to America. She didn't go to Ellis Island. She went to Castle Gardens, I think it was called. Got off the ship, saw her mother and her sister, went to them. Nobody stopped her, and she went home with her mother.